Let's talk about editing in Audacity. I've labeled this step 4. So I want to caution you, you can do some individual notes, you can adjust some tuning, and you can deal with some alignment issues, but use it cautiously. You should try to get the best take possible when you're recording. If you start doing too much editing, it's going to completely distort the file, and you don't want that to happen. Try to get the best take possible, and if there are tiny errors, you can go back and try to fix those. Let's take a look at what some of those look like. So here I mentioned that there was a wrong note. So if I go back, you'll hear that I end up playing an E instead of an A. So that was a mistake. I didn't mean to play an E. My goal was to play an A. I have to find it, so I'm going to use my magnifying glass to make it a little bigger. And you can see that the E starts right around here. And then it stops right around here. So I'm going to highlight this. Just click and drag. And now I'm going to hit the space bar and play it back. So there's that E. I didn't mean for it to be an E. Oh man, I was so close to finishing my recording. I don't want to have to start all over again. Well, that's okay. With Audacity, we can just edit that one note. So if I go to Effects and I go to Change Pitch, I was playing an E, and Audacity will recognize the frequency you were playing. What I really meant to play was an A. I was trying to play an A. So I can preview this. That's the note that I wanted. So I hit OK. It's going to change that note. So now when I play it back, I'm playing an A. This really is magical because for anyone that has recorded themselves, you'd kill it and you got all of it right, but that one note. This is a great tool to be able to fix that one note. It's not a great tool to fix every note. If you're trying to go through and fix every tiny mistake, it becomes so laborious and tiring and way too time consuming. But if you get through most of your recording and you go back and listen to it, and you're like, why did I play a G natural? I don't even understand why. How did I play a G natural? It didn't make any sense. You could go back, again, isolate the note. You have to find it first. Find where that note is, effects, change pitch, and Audacity will usually recognize whatever it was. It'll say, hey, did you play an E? Is that what you played? And you can adjust it. Let's say that it's not a note issue. Let's say it's not that you played the wrong note. Let's just say that it ended up being really out of tune and you needed to fix that. So it's the same process, but now instead of changing pitches, you're just going to adjust the pitch a little bit. So I'm actually going to jump in and record a little further. So here's where I stopped. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit tracks, new track, pick up where I left off. I'm going to start recording right here. I'm going to switch my monitor back to my headphones so that I can record with the click track. And I'm going to jump in after that, and I'm going to play a note out of tune. Here we are in Audacity. I did this second recording. I'm going to take a listen to it. You all hear that? Let me go back. The sour note, I think, was a little bit before that. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of this recording and listen for that out of tune note.
There it was. That's tasty. Let's listen to it again. Oh, you know you like it. So that note is definitely out of tune. I'm looking at my sheet music and I realize, oh man, that was supposed to be a G sharp and I just misplaced it and it was a little off. Again, I've got to find the note first, which can be a little difficult if you're not used to looking at audio files. But I'm going to find the note. Boom, right there's where it starts and it ends about there. Did everybody see that? So let me just highlight it, click and drag to right about there. And I'm going to hit the space bar and play it back, make sure I have the right one. Oh yeah, that's definitely it. If I want to, if I'm having a hard time trying to hear myself against the click track, I can come over here and hit solo, and that'll just let me listen to myself. Yeah, that's way out of tune. Do you hear that? So let me try to fix it. I need it to be this note, it needs to be a G sharp, not whatever note it is. So I need that note. So I'm going to come up again, effects, change pitch. Now, the poor computer is like, were you trying to play a G? I think you were trying to play a G. It's trying to understand what that pitch was, but this wasn't a matter of me playing the wrong note. I was trying to play a G sharp, but it was really out of tune. So what you can do is to suggest a percentage of change. So this will actually change the pitch by a certain percentage. So I know that it wasn't a whole half step off. It was a little less than that. So what I can do is play with it. If it goes in the negative, it's going to make the note lower. If it goes into the positive, it's going to make it higher. So let's say that I think that it was about, 30% off. So I can go up here and I'm going to change that pitch to be higher by about 30%. Let me preview it. So that's way too high. I'm looking for this note, I'm looking for G sharp, right? So let me take it a little less. Maybe it's just about 14% change. No, it's still not right. So I can grab my instrument. What's the pitch that I'm looking for? So that 14 was a little too high. Let me take it a little less. Still a little sharp, maybe a little less. Let's say a 4% change. Ooh, that's pretty close, right? Let me check my G sharp again. So there's about a 4% change that needs to happen. I'm going to hit OK. Let me listen to it. That sounds better. I'm going to take it off solo and hear it with everything else. Yay! My weird G snarpish note is now a G sharp. I can unselect that area and now I can hear myself with the backing track. And no one will ever know that I made that mistake, right? So again, this is a really great tool if there's one little note that's off. If you're trying to fix a whole phrase, if you misplace your hand when you're shifting, it's a lot better to create a new track and record a brand new line. So let's say that I had a really tricky section. Let me X out of these first two as examples. Let me jump into something that I know is a little trickier. I'm going to make the audio file a little smaller, easier to navigate. Let's see what this is. So that's a tricky section, right? Let's say that I record, I do that section, and it just sounds really bad. It's not where it's supposed to be. So I want to try it a couple times and see which one is the best take. So every time I can just create a new track. So I'm going to go tracks, add new, mono track. I'm right where that's supposed to be. So I'm going to check. Let me back it up a little bit. I'm going to go back to my headphones so I can hear myself. and I'm going to record that section with my click track. I'll hit record. So I did it, and it was okay, but I think to myself, maybe I could do it a little better. I was happy with it. It was in tune, but maybe I could do it a little better. And I'm already going back. I'm just trying to fix this one section. Is everybody still with me? So just trying to fix this one section. Let me do another take. I'm going to hit tracks, add new track, mono track, and watch what I'm going to do. This is the important part. I'm going to mute this track. I don't want to hear that recording right now. I'm going to mute that one. I still want to hear the click track because that's what I'm recording to. But this was my first take in trying to fix this. I'm not ready to hear it. So I'm going to go back just a few bars before, make it a little closer, and I'm going to record myself again. Okay, that one was pretty good. Now I can go back and I can figure out which take I liked better. So here I have the one I just recorded. Let me flip back to my speakers so you can hear it. So let's listen. This is the take I just did. Oh, did you guys hear that little flub? Right? The timing was off. I didn't really like it. It happened somewhere around here. I'm going to listen for it again. Oh, did you hear that? It just wasn't that good. Maybe it was better in the first take. I'll mute this one and I'll unmute this one. Let's see if it was better in this take. I'd say that sounds pretty good. Let me make sure that I'm not just getting deceived by the click track. Let me make this solo. I only want to hear myself. Oh, there was a mistake. Did you hear it? I had a little squeak in my E. I hadn't heard it because the click track was on, but now that I've soloed myself, I can see there were some mistakes. You know what? I'm going to do another take just to be careful. Does everyone see this process? So you can do multiple takes on certain sections. Now, notice I'm saying certain sections. I do not advocate that you sit down and record yourself for 9 minutes and then try to dig through this obscure audio file to find tiny little sections you can redo. Play from rest to rest, right? Play from major rehearsal marks. Play the first 16 measures and get it to a place you're comfortable, and then start a new track and record the next 16 measures. So find places that are manageable for you to record.